All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I just want to say thank you all for taking the time out to listen to our program. And we always welcome any comments, suggestions, feedback, and criticism, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Now, before we get started, I want to recognize two recent happenings in my life in the last month. Two close friends of mine, one that I've known from high school, another one that I've known for 11 years. Both welcome two new beautiful babies into the world, and I was definitely there for one, being that I live in the same state as one. The other one is back in my home state of New Jersey, and I just want to say I'm very happy for both of you, and you guys are two great men who will be two excellent fathers. And to my new babies, my nephew, Brandon Nazario, as Emma Houston, my niece and my goddaughter, I just want to say that your uncle loves you both very much. And we at Chin Check Radio, we will be here for you for as long as we have breath in our body. So one day when you grow old and become big boys and girls, you're going to listen to this broadcast and know that from the time you enter this world, you are loved, and anything you need, I am here for you. And if I have it, you both have it. I do want to apologize to you all. I didn't get a chance to broadcast this past weekend the Dallas Cowboys victory over the Miami Dolphins. Had some things going on, so I didn't have the time to really get on the air and talk about the game. Just a quick recap. Dallas Cowboys defeated the winless Miami Dolphins, whom all appearances are stockpiling and acquiring draft picks and unloading their top players to build for the future. Some people call it tanking, some people call it rebuilding, but I will give the Dolphins credit on the head coach Brian Flores. They played a very competitive first half, where I thought the Cowboys looked very sloppy offensively, but obviously in the second half, the Cowboys offense got in gear, highlighted by Amari Cooper's big day. So another win for the Dallas Cowboys. 3-0 is 3-0. They'll be traveling to New Orleans to play the Drew Brees-less Saints down in the Bayou on Sunday night. Of course, I will be watching and I will be broadcasting after that show. And by the way, this is the same New Orleans Saints team who just handed the Seattle Seahawks a can of whoop ass in Seattle, one of the hardest places to play without Drew Brees. So if the Cowboys win this game, I don't want to hear that, well, they didn't have Drew Brees, because you just saw what they did without Drew Brees in Seattle. So just throwing it out there, definitely looking forward to that game. Now, fight fans, there's a huge fight in town on Saturday. Between undefeated IBF welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. versus Shawn Porter. Now, I know I just said welterweights, not middleweights, because Colin Cowherd on his show, while trying to promote the fight, called them the two top middleweights. And this is one of the reasons why I decided to do Chin Check Radio, because this is what I feel that there's no appreciation or love of boxing. People that get on the air and say they like boxing, they watch boxing, and they know boxing. But these fighters, this fight is being promoted heavily on Fox Sports 1, on Fox Network. And their top sportscaster, one of the top sportscasters, was not even sure what division they fought in. So just kind of throwing it out there. Now, quick thing about the guys. You have Errol Spence Jr., 29 years of age, 25 wins, 25 total fights, and 21 knockouts. Shawn Porter, 33 total fights, 30 wins, 17 KOs, 2 losses, and 1 draw, and he is 31 years of age. Now, quick notable fights for each guy. Errol Spence Jr. in April of 2016 had a TKO victory in the 5th round over Chris Algieri. For Chris Algieri was a guy who fought Manny Pacquiao. I believe after the fight that he fought Floyd Mayweather, and is a known chef who he cooked for Daniel Jacobs in his fight versus Triple G. In May of 2017, Errol Spence Jr., he defeated Ezekiel Kell Brook by KO in the 11th round. Also scored a knockdown to win the IBF Welterweight Championship. January of 2018, had a successful title defense against the game and rugged Lamont Peterson. Fight was stopped in the 7th round. And in March of 2019, he defeated lightweight champion Mikey Garcia, who moved up in weight to fight Errol Spence. Obviously, Mike Garcia is one of the top pound-for-pound fighters, but moved up 2 weight classes and really couldn't do much of anything against Errol Spence Jr. Now, I do want to go back to the fight versus Kell Brook. That fight was the fight that Kell Brook fought immediately after moving up in weight to fight, at the time, a prime Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, and was beating him pretty bad. So now that makes you wonder, when he fought and defeated Kell Brook in a fight after being knocked out by Triple G, was Kell Brook the same fighter? Was Kell Brook possibly a shot fighter? Did Kell Brook have something beaten out of him that by the time he fought Errol Spence, he wasn't the same fighter? Not taking anything away from what Errol Spence did, because when he beat Kell Brook, he actually beat him in Kell Brook's home land in England. So that says a lot about Errol Spence, but just something just to think about. He beats Kell Brook in a fight that after Kell Brook is dominated and beaten up by Triple G. Now, looking at the resume of Shawn Porter. In December of 2013, he defeats Devin Alexander by unanimous decision, defeats Paulie Malignaggi by TKO in the 4th round in April of 2014, lost his IBF title to Kell Brook in August of 2014 by majority decision. So if you're looking for common opponents here, you have Shawn Porter losing his title in August of 2014 to Kell Brook. And Kell Brook then in turn, I believe, had about 4 or 5 successful title defenses and then lost his title to Errol Spence in 2017. So there's something, just keep that in mind. January 2015, Shawn Porter defeats the definitely overrated Adrian Broner by unanimous decision in the 12th round, which he dominated that fight. Suffered a hellacious knockdown in the last round, but I think by that point had already won almost, I would say he won almost every round. In June of 2015, lost to Keith one-time Thurman. In April of 2017, had a TKO 9 against Andre Berto. Now, what's interesting in the Andre Berto fight, that was the worst beating that Andre Berto ever suffered. Now, maybe he's an older fighter. Yes, Andre Berto has lost before. He's lost to Victor Ortiz. He's lost to Robert Guerrero. He's lost to Floyd Mayweather. He's lost to Jose Soto Carras. The thing is, the Guerrero, Ortiz, and Mayweather fight was all unanimous decision losses. The Soto Carras fight was a TKO in the 12th round. And this fight versus Shawn Porter was a TKO in the 9th round. So I have to give Shawn Porter credit for beating up a rugged game Andre Berto. In September of 2018, he defeated Danny Swift Garcia, handing Danny Garcia his second loss by unanimous decision, and Danny Garcia's first loss was against the aforementioned Keith Thurman. So this is the resume of both fighters. Now, the tail of the tape. Spence Jr. stands 5 feet 10 inches tall with a 72-inch reach, as does versus Shawn Porter, who stands 5 feet 7 inches in height with a 69.5-inch reach. So clearly, Spence has a height and a reach advantage, but I think it's actually perfect for how Porter fights. Now, Spence is longer. He can utilize his jab versus Porter, who's probably going to want to rush in and make an inside tough fight. Now, strengths and weaknesses of both guys. I think power favors Errol Spence. Why is that? Higher knockout rate is just that simple. 25 wins, 21 KOs versus 30 wins and 17 KOs. So clearly a higher knockout rate. I would say better footwork. Angles, moving from side to side, it favors Errol Spence. Boxing ability, I think it favors Errol Spence. Why is that? I think the punches are going to be crisper and straighter. As for Shawn Porter, what I think his advantage is going to the ring. He has a high work rate. I mean, this guy is a pit bull. He comes, former football player. I mean, this guy's a pit bull. He comes. I mean, he sticks his nose in there, which means he has very effective aggression. I mean, this guy is one tough guy. I mean, Shawn Porter, say what you want about him. He is just a tough man, a hard, rugged, tough guy. I think an advantage, and I think even talking with guys who watch boxing, guys who are analyzing this fight, I think what is missing that I think people forget is that Shawn Porter actually has a better resume than Errol Spence. He's actually had tougher fights than Errol Spence. So just something to keep that in mind, because I just broke down, even in the championship fight versus Kell Brook, was Kell Brook the same fighter? You beat Mikey Garcia, who moved up in 2 weight classes. But I just gave you a list of guys that Shawn Porter has been in the ring with and Shawn Porter has beaten. So I think Shawn Porter has actually the much better resume. Speed, I think, is even. Errol Spence is fast, and I think Shawn Porter is fast. His punches get there quick. The thing is, his punches are a little bit wider versus why I mentioned before that Errol Spence has crisper, straight punches. So it's going to be interesting. I'm definitely excited about seeing the fight. This is what fight fans need. Now, for Errol Spence Jr., do not look past this guy because I'm reading news articles that he's kind of looking past them or going to see about Terrence Bud Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. No, focus on the guy in front of you. You can call him dirty all you want to, but if you don't take somebody seriously, they become a serious opponent. My pick for the fight, I'm going to go ahead and go with Errol Spence Jr. I think longer, taller, reach, box on the outside, and I think what's also underrated, and I'm going to give Spence some credit here, I think Spence's fighting skills as an inside fighter, excellent body puncher. So I think those gifts, and I think Spence does have the stamina to match his work rate. And if you're looking for a blueprint on really how to handle Shawn Porter, look at that Kell Brook fight because Kell Brook was catching Shawn Porter as he was coming in. So I think that is something that Errol Spence is going to exploit by utilizing his jab and his quickness and his length to catch Shawn Porter coming in. So those, I think, are going to be the difference in the fight. I'm not good at picking rounds. I don't think he's going to knock Shawn Porter out. I doubt it. I think he's going to win the fight on a unanimous decision. I would say a comfortable unanimous decision. I can see Porter maybe winning some rounds here and there, but I think overall I'm picking Errol Spence to win the fight. Now, if I do have one complaint about the fight, is this damn $75 price tag that they're putting on to order this fight on pay-per-view. I have an issue with that. This is some of the things that drives me crazy about boxing. I'm excited for the fight. Most hardcore fight fans know about these guys. The mainstream, even though it's being promoted on Fox Network and PBC and Fox Sports 1, a lot of mainstream media and a lot of casual fans don't know these fighters. So to me, this is something the fight should have been on Fox 5, on national television to raise a profile of these fighters. These guys have not reached the pinnacle of a Floyd Mayweather, of Oscar De La Hoya, a Mike Tyson, a Manny Pacquiao to be charging these type of fights. So the $75 price tag for pay-per-view, I feel is a little bit steep. So I will be going to a sports bar to watch the fight. I prefer to be at my house watching it, but it's $75 price tag. I think that's ridiculous, especially at this stage of these guys' career and where they are now, not being known by the mainstream. As a fight fan, I'm going to watch the fight, but to pay $75, I think that was a little bit ridiculous. If you're talking $40, $50, okay. $75, I feel it's a little bit pricey, but it is what it is. So I'll be checking the fight out at the sports bar. Enjoy the fight. Have fun. This is Chin Check Radio signing off. Until the next time.